We talk about the product managers' challenges and all. That can go into an individual podcast. We can make a podcast out of.
Very true.
I will love that. I will love to host that.
Just for a rant, a product manager rant.
Myths are meant to be broken, right? So let's address it.
Let's break it. Yeah.
So number one is obviously what many people might have heard is that product managers are the CEO of a product, which we are not.
Building a product is very easy than maintaining a successful product. Why? Because
so when building an EdTech product, you don't just build it catering to one particular set of user persona, right? So
In this episode, we will be talking about the working style. What are the product management techniques, the opportunities and challenges that come in a way of a product manager. So while we are talking about it and discussing about the techniques, first, I would like to ask, Sushil, what would be the tool that you would be using to make your day-to-day work easy?
So the first tool is Notion, because hands down Notion is the best tool ever created for product managers. Why? Because when we are talking with a lot of stakeholders, we will get a lot of points from them, a lot of insights from them. So we need a hub to store all of them. And also when we get some thought about some product or some feature or some problem, we need to again write it or type it somewhere. Some like a hub or something. So for that, Notion is best tool. And second tool is I use Miro, M-I-R-O. If we have an idea or if we are pitching with to my boss or to my managers, I need to give it in a very neat visual representation of my idea. So I use Miro to give a good flow chart, how this idea goes, what are all the features and what are all the customer segments it is going to touch. So for that reason, I use Miro. And third one is like when we were in COVID, our roles, our jobs are went into work from home. So for on that time, synchronized communication is very difficult because I personally hate meetings. So
Who doesn't?
So for that, I switched to asynchronized communication. So for that reason, I used Loom. So in Loom, like we can screen record or whatever we do or record ourselves, and we can send that video to our teammates or stakeholders. So for that reason, I use Loom. And I also encourage companies with more than 250 headcounts. Headcounts means like more than 250 employees to build their own internal tools. Because you can build internal tools, especially for your company needs, especially for the specific team. If there is sales team and they want to automate something, we can build an internal tool. That helps you. So for that reason, I use AppSmith, Software, Bubble. So these are no-code tools. So product managers can leverage no-code tools like this to build whatever the internal tools they want to without disturbing developers.
Okay. So what about you, Ashwin? Is there a different set of tools, or is there like same set of Notion and other things that you use it in a different way? How is it?
yeah, like the more experienced product manager gave you a better answer. But again, Notion, the way he uses and the way I use is different. He uses it for taking notes, which I do as well. But I use it more of a productivity tool. So Notion is a very good productivity tool in the sense that I use it to mark my tasks for the day. And then I use it like a Scrum board, basically. So that is one. And internally, we use a lot of the Google Workspace elements, right? We use the Google Sheets, the documents, Google Docs and everything. Also, I additionally, since I work with the design team, I use Figma and UiZard a lot. UiZard is basically an AI where you can give in a prompt and then it will generate wireframes for you. So that has been very handy for me. So that, and Figma as well. Figma to craft a beautiful wireframes. Figma again is very useful.
And to add to that, I forgot ChatGPT. After the release of ChatGPT, I subscribe to ChatGPT Plus. I have Gemini, I have Perplexity. So I use different tools for different things. But every day I use ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is now becoming like my assistant product manager.
So one other thing I forgot was the Google data analytics. We use Google Analytics for that. So there are tons of tools out in the market. Most of the companies I know use Mixpanel again. We internally use Google Analytics. So because like data, all our decisions these days are data driven. So there's nothing, data is the new oil. So hence we use Google Analytics.
Definitely. So I would be needing all the passwords and all of that for my use, okay? But on the heavier note, right? Being a product manager is definitely not going to be easy, right? So what would be the challenges that you would be facing as a product manager on a daily basis, or even as a community, I would ask you.
Right. So one overlooked fact about product management, the challenge per se, is that internal communication, as in when you speak with your internal members, right, the dev, the design, the marketing and sales, that communication is a very underrated skill, because the problem is that you can easily identify what the problems of the users is, but it is very, very difficult for you to address what the problems which are being faced by the internal teams, right? So that is number one. And Sushil?
Yeah, like same thing only, because if we talk about the product managers' challenges and all, that can go into a individual podcast. We can make a podcast out of.
Very true.
I would love that. I would love to host that.
Just for a rant, a product manager rant. But to talk from the current state of being a product manager is, you see in big companies, like for example, people or a headcount with more than 1,000, lot of teams will be involved. For example, if I'm in a process of 20 to 25 teams, each team has their own vision, own goal, own task and own targets. So they will be running behind it. So they will be so dedicated with that. On that note, when I as a product manager go in middle of that and I give something like a priority to them, it is very difficult to bring all of them under one common vision, when I say one common vision, it is not company's vision. It is like a product vision. If I'm going to launch a product next month, I have dependencies for over all of this 20 to 25 teams. So each 20 teams has at least one sub-teams. So the dependencies will go on to sub-teams also. So make them understand why this is important. So there will be negotiations. There will be like giving them something. So we should promise like, okay, we'll do this thing afterwards. Because team A's priority won't be team B's priority, and team B's priority won't be a matter for team C. Yeah. But for me, I have to bring all of them under same thing. And also one advice I can give to product managers is, when you grow as a company like a 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500, it is very important for you as a product manager to implement a process that connects all those teams. Yeah. Why? Because when you grow as a company like as I said, from 500 to 1,000 or 1,000 to 1,500, it is very important to implement a process, because if you don't implement a process, the company will start becoming people dependent. The dark side or the downside of being a company becoming a people dependent is informations will get isolated. When I say informations will get isolated, for example, if we take team 15, which is sales team, they will have a sub-team called pre-sales. So this pre-sales will be connecting each and every day with customers, and they are the direct touch points for the customers. And they will have a problem. Every day when they are talking with customers, they will find some problem with that customer or some opportunities or something. The only way they can transfer their information to some other is by reporting to their manager, by sending an email and all. What will happen is, it will start like you are complaining about your job. Yeah. That is a wrong thing. That perspective from a manager or that perspective of your colleague is a wrong thing. Yeah. This will make them to think or assume. They won't even think. This will give them the assumptions. Yeah. Assumption like, okay, we are like complaining about our job, but this is very wrong thing. So in that particular moment, it is the product manager's job to give make it come under a process. If you have a process, instead of sending an email, they will put it in some Google form or Zoho or somewhere else. So that will automatically come to me, and I will look into that problem. So to achieve this, you have to implement a process. And the most challenging part is not implementing the process, but making the people follow the process.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, because for existing employees, it will be easy. If I introduce a process, the next 3 months, I can make up every employee to follow that process. But when new employees come in, we have to again make them learn, to learn the process. But once all this 20 and 25 teams come under one process, one common vision, it is very easy for us to take them to accomplish what we want to do.
Okay. So let the problems hang, and we know what to prioritize and what has to be done, etc. Right? While we are talking about all of that, we also in previous episode discussed about what will look like for a product manager to manage daily tasks with other teams. But here we are sitting in an EdTech company. So does it differ in any way?
Yeah, definitely. Why? Because I was previously in SaaS. So in SaaS, we would like have a product marketing, sales and all. But when we take EdTech, we will have an extension of all these teams. When I say extension of all these teams, for example, if we take live classes or career programs, we will have this team called mentors. So those teams, that team's responsibility is to hire mentor, check their quality, interview them. And if we take coordinators, their job description or role is to coordinate all the students to attend the class. So a lot of things is involved. But until a team has the touch point of a customer, it comes under the product manager. Because every role that touches a customer can have an insight about the problem of that customer or the industry. So it is the product manager's job to look into that. So definitely EdTech has a lot of teams, a lot of sub-teams a lot.
On daily basis, how many teams would you really have to stay in touch, like the number of teams, or what are the teams that you will?
Again, it moves from hierarchy and everything. So me as a product manager, I might deal with just not under of 10 number of teams, but Sushil, he might go up to 26 teams, right? So I as an associate product manager, I can voice it out. So we have a daily stand up with the dev team, the design team, as well as the data team, and finally strategy and marketing. So these are the number of teams, which 5 or 6 maybe, so which I communicate with on a daily basis because it is important for us to understand what is going on with each of these different teams. But again, when you move to a higher position, let's say a product manager, a senior product manager, the group product manager, they'll have to have their eyes, eagle's eyes on every other team. So it depends.
Yeah, so to add on that, the challenging part here is if you, for example, if as you said, like you will be engaging with developers, data analysts and all. The challenging part is context switching. Because when you're talking with developer, you need to talk about what are the things that you need from the developer point of view and all. But after the meeting with developers, you will be completely go to non-technical people. So again, you have to switch the context. So if you want to specialize in context switching, you need to know everything in depth. When I say everything in depth, you don't need to know every programming language and all. You just need to know what you need from them. Only that you can get the expected outcome.
Yeah, what to extract from each person is very important. So while we are talking about, how we are dealing with product managers and dealing with each team and how you have to communicate to extract what is needed for a product manager to do, right? What will be the myth that the product management field faces or the product managers face in general?
So yeah, it's a very interesting question because myths are meant to be broken, right? So let's address it.
Let's break it. Yeah.
So number one is obviously what many people might have heard is that product managers are the CEO of a product, which we are not. Clearly, because you don't.
There again goes my belief system.
No, that has a different meaning. I'll come to that.
So as product managers, you don't actually you own the product definitely to a certain extent, but it is not. It is an input of every other teams which is involved into that particular feature which has to go live, right? So yeah, that's number one. And what comes as a close second is that product managers need to be technical. That again is a huge no. I have zero knowledge in coding. I'm trying to learn a bit, but yeah, it is a good to have skill. But I read multiple stories of product managers who work at the Netflixes of the world, the Airbnbs of the world, who have not coded in their entire life, right? So again, it is definitely a good skill to have because it will make your communication with the developers easier. But again, it's not that you have to have a CS degree.
Yeah. Okay. So you had
when you said that product managers are the CEO of the product, until or unless the actual CEO of the company tells you that you are the CEO of the product, if someone is telling, some teammates is telling you that, hey, you are the CEO of the product, you should not be happy because it indirectly means you are the scapegoat of the product. Because product...
That is not something happy to be heard.
Because product managers is the easy target for every team. Because if something goes wrong in marketing, they can easily say product managers didn't give us a proper GTM plan. Why they call product managers as the CEO of the company is, product managers has this ability to bring all those teams under a common vision. So that is like a superpower maybe. But that is the reason why everybody calls product manager as a CEO of the product. But for people who are aspiring product managers, or if you are in early stages of your career, don't be so happy about someone calling you as a CEO of a product. Why? Because later in your career, you will be you will be put up in a situations where you will be holding accountability for the things which you don't have authority towards. So that will lead you to a severe burnouts. And also the another myth is like people will always say that product managers like idea mission, they are the source of all the ideas, which is completely not true, because everybody is in their job. Everybody wants to do something for the customer or do something for the company or for the process. So they will definitely have this one workable idea. It is the product manager's job to pick which idea we need to do now, which matters now, which matters tomorrow. So that is the role of the product manager. So, but idea exists everywhere. You can get ideas from any team. I personally prefer to get ideas from customer support teams, because they are the end touch points for the customers.
So just to touch upon what Sushil said, more responsibility, more problems, right? So
Definitely. Agree.
one huge myth is that your developers and your designers report to you. No, they do not. We do not manage them. We don't even micromanage them. We work in collaboration. So you work in tandem with all these different teams, and then you try your best to bring that idea from paper to reality.
Does the working style of an existing product differ from that of a new product? I wanted to know that for a very long time, because is the process the same, or is it entirely different, or does it differ from a product manager to product manager? I wanted to know. Yeah.
I'll go. So I have, I mean, he has more experience launching products, so let's take it that way. So while ideating, obviously, the working style is in such a way that you start with a lot of market research, right? So that is where it all begins. So, and right from market research, and then you take it to your ideation teams, which is the developers and the strategy team, right? So that is how it goes. And till from all those things till the finish, when you come to the end point, the finish line is when you start looking back at what went wrong. Something might have gone wrong while you launched. Not everything is perfect, right? So once something is launched, there might be a lot of bug fixes to be done, and there will be a lot of problems. It might not have gone at all the way you planned, right? You will be start to track a lot of metrics, and those metrics might take a severe down hit. So that is how it shifts from start to what actually ends up being a product.
Yeah, so it's like building a product is very easy than maintaining a successful product. Why? Because when you take maintaining a successful product, for your colleagues and other teammates, it will look like you're doing nothing. But building maintaining a product is very difficult, because every day you will come up with some errors, some bugs. Customer expectations will change, customers will evolve, and also like you will be doing some changes in user UI UX, increasing the easiness of customer experience and all. But when it comes to building a new product, it is very easy actually comparing to that one, because we will be ideating, brainstorming, building it from scratch, coming up with new GTM plan and all. And a new product gives you a lot of excitement and enjoyment. But maintaining a successful product is like repeating the things every day. But you are not repeating the things. You will be repeating the things in different perspectives and for different customers.
Yeah.
Sort of like working out. So you just have a plan. It's easy. It's easy to devise a plan than actually working out.
True. But I think on daily basis, product management needs a lot of consistencies and repetitive tasks, don't you think? Is that the case with product management as well?
So the only constant thing is problems, but it differs every day. So there is not, you'll be repeating only 15% to 25% of your job. Balance, you will be doing facing new problems, new tasks only. So you just have to fall in love with problems. Then only you can sustain in product management.
What are the challenges and opportunities as product managers you guys come across, especially in the EdTech space?
Your product will go irrelevant sooner than you build it. When I say product, in EdTech, not only we have technical products, software products, and also every courses that we launch is a product. Yeah. So if you take one course, for example, if you take a Python course, you will have the syllabus of Python and AWS. Yeah. Now we are promising placement support and all, right? So we will have Python and AWS, and the company's expectations will change. So now they want someone with Python, AWS plus GenAI. So they want a generative AI. Now we again have to go back to that syllabus. We have to reframe the syllabus, hire mentors, market it and all. So your product has high chance of going irrelevant, because customers evolve, companies evolve. We have a lot of touch points. We have a lot of promises to deliver. And when we look into opportunities, EdTech is one of the industries which has opportunities everywhere, because education is like something you can focus on from age 3 to age 90. So if you take all those people, we have a lot of segmentations, so that we have a lot of opportunities to come up with a educational product. For example, if we take only one single demography, like from age 18 to age 21, we can segment those 3 ages itself into 10 segments. So we can come up with 10 segments, and we can come up with 10 new products.
But while you were talking about, how from age 3 to age 19 or even age 21 and above that, EdTech as an industry itself, right, has more consumers, don't you think? Because as you said, like when we launch a product, it soon becomes irrelevant, and it is an unrecognizable thing that is happening in EdTech. While we are talking about all that, even people who are 60 years old, our CEOs, they are also looking out for something to learn on daily basis. So is there a relevance to product management much more to go towards that set of audience as well? Don't you see?
Yeah, of course. So when building an EdTech product, you don't just build it catering to one particular set of user persona, right? So we have right now in GUVI, we have Hacker Kit for kids, we have GUVI courses for college students, we have Zen programs for the people who is looking for jobs, and and then we have placement preparation for graduates who are trying to crack that role, their first role and everything. So our company itself is a good example of how we can touch point on each and every age group and what we can cater to their needs, right? So similarly, like if you take the example of Coursera, they cater particularly to such a certification so that you can amp up your resume and everything. So yeah, I think it's evolving, yes, but also at the same time, you can build products which cater to each and every persona.
Yeah. So that's amazing, because we were talking about challenges, myth, and what you should be beware about of being a product manager and everything in between, as well as what it means to be a product manager in the EdTech industry as well, right? So in the next episode, we will be covering much more, and we'll be diving deep into EdTech space and product management. So this episode comes to an end here.